right, you guys. What do you say we get it going? Got a special treat for you all tonight. All right, everybody. Welcome to another People in the Boxes. It's Thursday night. Oh, mute that a little bit. All right. What did you guys think? You got to give me some honest opinions. I'm just getting into the editing and stuff. I didn't finish that all the way.
Awesome. It gave me goosebumps. I hadn't seen it yet. It gave me goosebumps. I ain't gonna lie.
I was just working on it as we were sitting here, and I wanted to fill up. I wanted a couple more in there to have like 6 full, you know what I mean, little clips of us talking and stuff. It was pretty cool though. I gotta put these on. Awesome. Make sure I don't get a headache. What's up, everybody? People in the Boxes number 28. Let's do it again. All right. So tonight is an interesting one because it's something that I don't have direct experience with, but I've always considered, right? So, hi, Melanie. Hello, Melanie in the back.
Hi, guys.
I guess I should back up a second. And I got to remind myself that not everybody, we get new viewers, we get people that haven't seen the show. So I got to remind people in the Boxes, you guys, it's a show where we ask you to come up and share your experience if you want to. Share it in the comments. We can get people on the screen to give direct, shared and lived experiences with these topics, not necessarily, your book knowledge, your expertise on it, but what's actually happened to you in life, But tonight's episode is about charity. Like I said charity and I didn't say charities because I think there's a distinction there. There's a lot of like public charities, there's big charities.
I agree.
And then there's charity, the act of charity. So I think there's a big difference. And we actually talked about it a couple times this week already, an excitement for the episode. So
and I think
go ahead.
Charity opens the door for charities but doesn't close it for just charity. You know what I mean? I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got Sherry over there in the YouTube world. What's up, Sherry? Thank you for hanging out on the YouTube side. Well, she must have come back over. That's all right. I think it's a good topic because I think a lot of people are scared to even go down the path because who knows? What is it? What should you give to? What's the right cause? That's why I didn't pull up a tab for it, but Jason, you did bring up something about crowdfunding. And I feel like that's more of like a very direct, charitable giving to somebody specifically for their specific, situation, not an organization that promises to, divvy it up amongst the right people and this and that. So it takes out that third party kind of. You're still there, Sherry?
Charlene wants to know how to come up. If you can send her a link or post a link at the bottom.
You're right, Charlene. I need to get that link down there.
Hey, Waylon, I like the new opening theme. You worked hard on that, I can tell.
It's amazing.
Like it? All right, thanks. I do want to show off the other one I worked on though too. If we get a second at some point, I did update it a little bit and stuff, but that's for my other show, so it's not necessarily pertinent, but it's something I worked on today too. I did upload a copy of it, but I did actually fix it since then a little bit more. So it's like I feel like I'm going to keep tweaking it nonstop, So there's the link, guys. It should be in there. Coming back to Facebook. Okay, Sherry. Thanks for hanging out on. Yeah, it is lonely over there when there's nobody in the chat. That's what also makes it tough. Like say on NOK, I'm on 7-8 different networks, and you don't see the comments. If you're in one of those places and not on StreamYard, you only see the comments in that spot. So kind of makes it tough. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Hey,
Hey,
Ryan.
Ryan, man, how's it going?
Cheers, brother.
Is it? Uh-oh.
Hey.
It's the StreamYard.
Cheers.
StreamYard really sucks at the bandwidth. So, but yeah, cheers. Is it weird saying good afternoon over there? What time is it? Jason probably has it down. But
10 o'clock in the morning.
I love it. I love that it's a nation. It's a worldwide thing. That's why when I look up stuff, I try to look up stuff like worldwide, and I found it kind of hard actually. I kept looking up world's biggest charities, and it kept bringing up 100 biggest American charities or everything American. I'm like, well, I'm trying to look a little more broad here, but hey, I found some stuff. I did something a little bit unusual this time too, guys. I don't know if any of you that have seen the show, I kind of like to look up some things and get us a little bit of reference point from our topic. And I found this time I decided to use 2 different search engines because I thought, let me see, what they both say. We're going to start doing that a little bit more to kind of give us an idea of like what kind of information can we find out there that's not really adding up. You know what I mean?
And I think you will find different things in different countries' searches, different answers,
Yeah. Well, yeah, but also I'm using I used Google, and then I used the Brave search engine. It's a little newer, so maybe less searches, but also less garbage on there. So, Miss Charlene, if you're having any trouble, let us know. But yeah, we'd love to have you come up. We know. Oh, there she is. Boom. Speaking you or
Hello.
ask, you shall receive. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Charlene.
I'm gonna ask you. So,
How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a heck of a week for me, guys. So I hope everybody else is out there hanging in there. It's been up and down. Like I can't say it's been a bad week or a good week. It's been like good and bad together, like in separate ways. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a good week.
I just want to point out how
go ahead.
the 3 on top are sideways, and then the three of us on the bottom are up, and I think that's kind of cool. It just like it's meant to be. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
We could mix and match us a little bit.
Right? I like it.
Yeah,
Oh, Charlene had to ruin it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's weird, isn't it, Charlene? When you flip your phone that way, then you have to look over to the camera to the side, and it makes it weird. Even though it's only a few inches away, it makes your whole face look different.
A couple inches.
It counts. See, you guys know what I'm saying? She knew exactly what I was going with there. It definitely counts.
Yes, we like those couple inches. Anyway,
That's my nickname.
Speaking of charity, please give the 2 inches.
Right.
I'm so sorry. Go on.
Pity is different. I think pity is different. Yes.
Oh, it's terrible. Go on.
All right. Let me present my other
So,
screen
question:
here.
Do you not smoke with the bongs on the pages?
You can.
You can. Okay.
Yeah. I don't typically, just because I'm busy, and like I'll hit my chillum, and there's just too much stuff in my way here.
We just wrong show.
Okay. I
Like,
just wanna
that's like
One of
break
the
it
things,
loose.
Miss Charlene, that we're not really worried about the monetization through YouTube. And with YouTube, if you smoke on YouTube, you will not be monetized. Plain and simple.
Okay.
If you show marijuana, if you show yourself smoking, if you show any of that, but that's not why we're here. We're not here for the monetization. We're here for the knowledge, the education purpose, the conversation, the good talks. We're here to sit around the table and have them good conversations. So
that brings up a good point, actually.
We're here to sit around the table.
Thanks, Dale. So that brings up a
Hi,
good
Dale.
point. To that
Hey,
point,
Dale.
Jason, I'm actually bypassing the monetization altogether with my locals. I think that's really where I'm going to refocus, because I don't have to jump through Facebook hoops. I don't have to worry about YouTube hoops. If I continue to make something valuable over there, it doesn't even have to be content over there. It's people are supporting me over there because of everything I'm doing across the board. So I don't have to worry about, although I still like the stars because every now and then someone throws them to me, but I'm not gonna like that. I can't worry about that. That's not consistent.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Doing
With
well.
Cash App at the bottom, people saying, hey, if you want to support me, send me some Cash App.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Cash App rather than the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook
That's
takes
better.
too much of a
Facebook
percentage.
doesn't take, right.
But
Yeah. Facebook
I
takes a
don't
lot from the
agree.
stars.
Recently, I've had a morality conversation with a couple people, and it's been brought to the attention. We're on the topic, so it's been brought to the attention, begging for stars. At the first comment in people's posts, people's lives, give me stars to support me for this. You can support me by this. You can give me this. A lot of these people aren't doing anything to earn them stars.
Right.
I'm sorry, just sitting here smoking, just sitting here talking. Certain conversations, yes, it can turn into a situation where they earn the stars.
I mean,
But
I've done shows where I think stars would have been appropriate, but that was full on different shows than what we do. That was for all due purposes comedy shows. So,
a lot of people say, kind of with our family, the 42710 family is a private group. So we can't get stars,
we'll never
or
have stars,
support or monetization or anything like that.
But
we're
we
not
take
looking
care of
for
each
numbers.
other. Right. We take care of each other.
We do it in a different way, so it's just one of them things that is a way to look at it. Are you asking for a charity, or what's the right word? What, Waylon, for the stars?
A handout.
What type of charity is that?
We got a bit of an echo, guys. Who's somebody playing a second? It was Charlene.
Oh yeah, Valerie. There's people that'll just, we were talking about the other day, there's women that'll just have the video live on them. They won't look at the screen. They won't talk to the screen. They'll do their nails, watch TV, whatever. And it's fucking stars are going through. I don't get it.
Miss Charlene, do you have a second device playing? I muted you because we can hear an echo from you.
Volume down, yes.
Yep. Just turn the volume down. You're good to go. I got mine right here. I got 3 different devices going.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
You're fine.
That's all right.
It happens.
It's a learning experience. Trust me, it's a learning experience.
It's hard enough with 1 or 2, but then when you get into 3 or 4 devices, it's definitely a learning experience.
You did really good the first time you were up here. I forget what episode that was, but you came up and hung out. Was it the Christmas episode or no? I don't remember, but you came up for quite a while a couple episodes ago, and you did.
Yeah. Well, this one's about charity, and I work nonprofit for over 25 years.
Yeah, I want to hear about it for sure.
Yeah.
So I know the inside and the outside of it, what you see and what you don't see. Because I was the accountant.
Oh, wow. Well, be careful.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for shouting that out.
Don't tell us any secrets that are going to get you in trouble.
No, I had
the NDA's over. She's good.
Right, there you go.
I had perfect audits, Waylon. I had perfect audits.
Some tells me that's right.
So what were they specific charities that you were accounting for, or was it one?
I worked for Community Action Program. Those were the first ones that came up, and it hired underprivileged kids and gave them little jobs. They passed out the cheese and the stuff. They did the weatherization, went and, sealed people's houses, replaced their furnaces if need be, and whatever. So that's a CAP agency. It kind of takes care of it's a
community services program type thing,
right?
To give back to the community. Okay.
Right. I worked there for about 12 years, and they had all different programs and stuff. And at one point, I actually applied to be the program director of a program they were starting. And I was told, we would love to have you in that role, Charlene, but if we hire you, it means we'll lay you off so-and-so, so we have to give him the job so he doesn't get laid off. I said, okay. It was worth it to know that they would at least consider I could do it.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy? How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. Made a bunch of improvements today in physical therapy.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome, brother.
I know
I'm
it's
affecting change here, dude. This whole chain of hospitals just changed their entire cannabis policy.
So even though
Oh,
you've already
nice.
said the name, I was gonna ask for some inside scoops, but she's already said the name. So I don't know what you're comfortable telling us. But so what are like we know that we give to money or give to charities, and you know it may say 100% nonprofit. How much of each dollar actually goes towards the charity?
Well, you're only allowed to take 15% administrative costs, the money to operate that, to manage that money, the cost to manage that money. For me, the executive director, the program director, blah, 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 pieces like, 5% here, 3% here. And all those pieces made up a whole. We had many contracts. I also worked for Rhode Island Project AIDS. That was probably the more intricate that I got. I got there, and they were in the beginning. You got to think about this. This organization started in someone's living room, and when they needed office supplies, they passed a hat to put money in it to pay for whatever they needed. Or so and so was in the hospital. Can we send them flowers? And they passed the hat, and they did it. So then they finally, the department, the state gave them a space in the basement of the education building, the state education building. And they had no accountant. They had a treasurer who let them, oh, well, you've got the money in the bank, go spend it. Not like,
oh, wow.
You've got expenses coming up, you've got to pay. So when I got there, they handed me 5 years of records in one little copy paper box. And I went, oh my God, what have I done? But, and it was only 3 months till the year end. And if I had to sign off on year end, so it meant I went and started at the beginning of the year, and I went through every transaction and made sure. And where's the paperwork for this? Oh, well, you don't have a receipt. That doesn't count. Take that one out. Okay, let's do it this way. They had no accounts. There was people, everybody, needed Bob Smith bought the office supplies this month. Oh, we needed a computer. Jane Doe just went and bought us a computer, and we paid those people instead of a corporation, a company. So, okay, first change. I'd already been in nonprofit. I'd already lived in, worked in the area. So I got my office supply guy. I had my insurance man come in. I had all these different people come and being interviewed. It wasn't that they got the job, but they were interviewed among others, to get them established to be, a reason to be a good nonprofit, to be accountable and clear on what money went to what.
So how long did it actually take you to get it running properly to where you were successful and happy and you felt successful with it? You felt happy and to the level that you were proud of it?
I actually, I finished that year, and they did hire the auditor that I recommended, and he knew my work. And I backed up everything I could. And when he'd come to something and he'd say, what about this? I'd say, that's BC. And he said, BC, before Charlene.
Before Charlene. I love it.
So he let some small things flow that year. He did write some, pieces that need to happen, but I knew them because I had been in other places. So, I knew how to analyze my own books because that saved them $2,000 on their audit that year, because in my other nonprofit, I did all that to prepare for the auditors. So I came there, I prepared for the auditors. I did all their worksheets so they didn't spend all that time analyzing. I fixed as I went along.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
So yeah, nonprofit, I feel that somehow the head people get paid too much money, and all the money goes to them and stuff. It's really, for Rhode Island Project Ace, for example, we probably had 25 different funding sources that ran all the things we did.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So
Well,
I ended up, thank God, because I was in a relationship that I didn't want to be home. I spent a lot of time at the office.
Thank God.
And I created this worksheet for them that pretty much tell them where everything's coming from, all their contracts. Okay, office supplies for this program. You've got so much from this program, so much. It doesn't mean that it's written in blood. Maybe you want to take something from here and move it there, but you had to do it within the numbers. When my friend Bob moved from there and he became the director at another nonprofit in Massachusetts, and they said, "Oh, and you're going to have to." He goes, "Oh, I have no problem doing budgets. I learned from the best," he said. "I can do this, no problem."
So Charlene, so you did accounting. I went through accounting in college, but I couldn't finish it because I was working full time, and it's just so many numbers. It's like an ocean of numbers.
Yes.
So I'm imagining in my head, I imagine Charlene with a wall with like yarn going from paper to paper all over, like a conspiracy theorist, and then mixed with like Tom Hanks when he's stuck in that airport, like building a freaking like a beautiful work of art that is the numbers that you. I just imagine that, but no, that's awesome that you can give such a
one
detail.
profit like that. You end up, it's not for the money. You got to be there because you care about what's happening, because you don't get the money. Yeah. You get good vacation, good sick time, comp time, blah blah blah, but they can't give it to you in money,
Heather, the topic is charity. We're talking charity, we're talking actual organized charities, but then just the charity in general. I have some info pulled up, but really we got Charlene here, who's almost all we need. So let's
each state does things differently too. For example, I worked in Rhode Island, and our money came from the Department of Health. That was our chunk piece, was from the Department of Health. Well, they didn't pay us. We would do the work for 30 days. I would create the report, get it right in. It would take them another 30 days to get to review the report, and then sometimes another 15 to 30 days to get the check. So now we're 90 days. We've already spent the money 90 days ago, and we don't have the money in our hands. That's how the state of Rhode Island did it. So after that, when they wanted to give us some of these little smaller ones, we would go in, me and my boss, the executive director, and they go, "Well, I said, before we even start, we cannot take another one where you pay us in the rears. We have to be paid in advance in order to take this contract on."
Oh yeah, my rears are exit only, so I'm definitely always
exactly.
paid in the front.
They got the hint. But then I went and worked in Massachusetts for the state, who gave the money to the nonprofits. So I was the program, I was the person who managed all their contracts for the state to make sure everybody was doing things correctly. And in Massachusetts, well, how could they possibly do the program if they don't have some money? So they gave them 3 months in advance, and then report monthly, and you'll get a monthly dose. And yes, if you close, well, you know what? They'll chase you to the bottom of hell. But
Okay, so they would like divvy it up and try to. So I would come back on. I'd push back on the natural inclination I think we have to demonize charities, which is so funny that we have that sort of almost default now, right? But I think you have to have the ability to pay people to do a job. And so some of the charity does need to go, to the people doing the job. But I happen to know a charity that does not do that actually pays their people in other ways. And the entire charity is 100%. I'm going to look it up now. It's called Mercury One. Now, you may or may not enjoy the politics of whoever it is that deals with that. We won't need to get into that, but it doesn't matter. It's a charity in itself that deals with natural disasters and all kinds of other things that I think is pretty good. I mean, I think I've always thought that's the one I would give to if I had something to give. Let's see.
Well, and it's
Okay,
funny.
what do you think about, because scholarships and grants are charities?
Yes.
So let's push back with that and say giving back to the students, giving back to the education, giving back to the, starting with cancer, cancer education and stuff. So here in Michigan, we have the Mott's Children's Hospital, the University of Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Ronald McDonald House. What about them foundations and them scholarships? And them grants.
It depends on where the money's coming from, whether it's voluntary or not. I think that's what it's.
If it's got any federal or state money involved, their books in total need to be accountable. If they're not, now if you get some of these bigger organizations that don't take money from the state, yes, you have no idea how they're paying their staff, if they're paying them, big salaries and putting less to the program. I worked in places where that wasn't a possibility. It had set limits by the state, by the government, 15%, nothing more.
I want to get some of our other folks in here. Dale, thanks for coming by. We see you a little. We've seen you probably the least often up here. So what's up? Let's hear from you. Do you have any Canadian charities that you've given to, or that I know you sort of act as a charity, because I know you give out your medicine. Well, at least you've told me that you give out your medicine for the low price of a steal. So what do you think? Is there any worthwhile charities in Canada? Maybe we'll get Kat's opinion too, if you've heard any. I know Kat has some animal charities I bet would be good, but go ahead, Dale.
Well, even our event there, we're giving to two big charities right now that we've allocated up to $500,000 so far. And that's the one in the U.S. is Jim Belushi's.
Oh yeah, you did say something about that before.
Last Prisoner Program, something like that.
It's right here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worthwhile charity. I don't know much about it. It's just one that came up and was decided.
I've met Jim Belushi firsthand. He's a really good guy. Really good guy. What he's doing for the cannabis community and the communities in general is amazing. His housing projects are great. He does a lot for the city of Detroit and a lot for Michigan. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is he from there, I wonder, or is it just where he lives now?
That I don't know. I just know he's got a lot of business deals here.
Yeah, he lives in Colorado. Yeah, we're giving to him. And the other charity that we're providing another portion to is called the Cannabis Substitution Program. Now, this fella has had this program in downtown Vancouver for 20 years now. He gives out free cannabis to opioid addicts that are trying to recover. His problem is once again funding.
Funding, yeah.
It goes in spurts where he'll get enough to get in lots of pot. People will be donating edibles and pot like crazy, and then you'll get to a period where nobody does. And those are the times where he needs that funding to buy that extra cannabis to help these people out. I don't know if many of you know.
That. Actually, I think that's
it's called his group is called the Cannabis Culture. Neil
Magus.
Nice.
Does anyone hear that echo?
I think it was just
for a second.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it was only for a second.
I was like, I'm getting better at stopping everything so we can fix these things. And
third word, yeah,
literal quick.
Third word, I was like, no, I hear it. No, I hate hearing echo.
Yes.
What Charlene's telling me today, that's very pertinent information to keep in mind when giving out to these charities. And it is a problem. We're trying to find reputable charities right now. Everybody knows a charity, but a reputable cannabis charity, difficult to find.
So there
are organizations that should be able to help you with that. in Rhode Island, we had a place called the Rhode Island Foundation. So if someone wanted to donate thousands or millions to somebody, whatever, it could be funneled through them to the person. So they became the gatekeeper to watch the money and make sure it's done what it's supposed to do.
I feel like, of course, they're going to have a fee, though. So then there goes more of it.
Sure, because how could their staff run without? Yes.
Yeah.
It's just another piece of the cake. Yeah.
Just another middleman, and that's what sucks is there becomes so many middlemen that $1.10 of it is what's donated.
Well, and if you donate it with a specific thing, they have to do it that way. For example, I worked at the YWCA. We get this check for $58,000. We're like, oh, cool. Yeah. Well, that was to spend on teaching young women how to sew and do things in their house. So we had sewing classes for the kids, and that money paid for that. You know what I mean? So, but people do it specific. We had this one person, they were the only ones we could use them to replace the slate roof on the building because theirs was just for structural stuff. That's what their grant was for. It was, it's a person who gave it to.
So, do you think it's odd that have you heard of any other charities like this one I pulled up there that says 100% of the proceeds go to the cause? Because you think about it, if you're a charity and you're asking people to give freely, then wouldn't you think that the people working for the charity would then just give their time and effort freely? Although it's hard to say that, right? It's hard to do that, but go ahead.
Yeah, we have Shriners Hospital here, and that's like all completely funded by donations, and it saves so many lives, so many young lives. But it's obviously it's run by Shriners, and but yeah, they say it's fully funded by donations, which amazes me. It amazes me. A lot of people, a lot of doctors and stuff do donate their time there, and
Jeremy,
all my money.
Did you guys see Jeremy was on the live earlier today? And he has a friend that he was hoping to get in here, but looks like it didn't work out. Works with No Veterans Die Alone. They donate their time to sit with a veteran that has no family.
Wonderful.
That's that's intense. Kat left.
When they're passing,
she'll come back. Kat's definitely going to tell us about her animal charities and stuff that she's got going.
Our building for the YWCA was near this old train building that was abandoned, and we had homeless living in there. And sometimes they would come and ask for help from us, and we were YW, it was a woman thing. But if we had no one downstairs doing in the pool area, we would let them go take a shower, and things like that to clean themselves up to get a fresh start for the next 2 weeks or whatever. So definitely the women, but we'd even let the men in as long as there was no woman downstairs. So
yeah.
Should we talk about? Go ahead, Jason.
One of the ones I wanted to touch on too is Waylon did mention Kat saying the animal charities and stuff. What is your all's opinion on the commercials? 75 cents a day can save this animal. $1.25 a day can dig this well. I don't believe that. I don't think that money goes to what it says it does. If you are pushing them commercials that hard, I know the price of what a commercial costs. It costs more than 75 cents a day to pay for that commercial.
What was that lady's name? It wasn't Sally Fields. It was.
No, it was.
Sally Struthers.
Sally Struthers, yes.
Yeah. Yes. And then, are all those pictures from? I don't know. We've talked about this before when we were talking about, I think, propaganda, maybe. When it was about how they.
Thing. It doesn't mean that that's exactly what you're seeing, because we had posters and different things that we had posed and did, artwork for, and it doesn't mean that it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's really to jerk your heartstrings and to get you visually,
Exactly.
Here,
yeah.
I'm not playing the audio, but just come on you heartless person. But look at her, like she should be crying. You think if she was actually there, for only. I wish I could turn. Oh, here we go. Captions. There we go.
Do it time.
Cheers. Kat, where'd you go, Kat? What's up? What's up, Kat? I know Kat had some stuff to try to promote with charities.
Ryan said he wanted to talk about one thing, but he had bad service, so it's not a big deal.
Like, anyway, that's enough of that, right?
Yeah, it's it's one of the things that it's like, I don't believe that's where that money goes to. I truly don't.
And like, I don't know how heartless this is, but there are children within miles of me that need help and attention.
I don't think that's heartless at all. I think it should start at home. Charity should start at home. That's what's wrong.
It's just like the analogy of the airplane oxygen mask. It says, apply your own oxygen mask before you help others. You can't do it. Like, I was thinking about this earlier. You can't really help too many people with just the shirt on your back. People hate Bill Gates. I don't really love him. I don't think he's a climate guy. I don't think he's a health guy. He created Windows. Good for him. But now, I would still say that the saying is true that Bill Gates has raised more people out of poverty than Mother Teresa. So that's a very twisted, weird kind of.
It is twisted, but I believe it's true.
You have to have capital, which is another word for what? The ability to do things in order to help people. So,
and a lot of these people who have a lot of money. I had a brother who was a multimillionaire, and his kids were talking to him when I came down here, but there was a time they didn't want anything to do with him because he ran the house like he ran his business. He was the boss. He ran it all, and that makes it a very uncomfortable life.
Home life, yeah.
And I like to look up the difference between a nonprofit and a charity, because I don't think they're the same.
Oh, so the end of that, I'm sorry, I was stoned. The end of that was that as they get older, and even Doc has kind of said this a little bit too, as they got older, it was important to try and repent. I feel it's repent, but they gave their money to charities. They my brother left so much money. He said my relatives would not, my family would not be able to spend all the money I have. I have too much money, he says. So
wow.
He just, and he's past tense, so it's all out there being done. But
wow. So
I've seen it in a couple other families the same way, where the dad's the strong ass, eat your food, you can't leave the table kind of thing. And as they get older, it's like, well, why don't you take my car? You can take that car. I'm going to go buy a new one. And it's trying to make up for the things they knew they did.
Yeah.
See, the problem with it all is money is involved.
Exactly.
See, like Waylon was saying earlier, it comes to like my genetics and my pot, that's free. I give it away free because it's a byproduct of what I actually do. And I have a program where you come to my house on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. The first day you're here, you get a mason jar full. It holds about 1 ounce and 3/4, ounce and 1/4. Depends upon the bud, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they come back to my house the next Tuesday or the Tuesday that they've run out, they bring me that empty jar and they replace it where they just grab the full one from. You see, there's no money exchanged. There's nothing. You get what you get. People are so happy. I see the biggest flipping smiles that you just would not believe from these people, because now they can eat this month. Right?
Yeah. That part.
Do you accept donations?
No.
You don't?
No.
what's up, everybody? What's up, Frost?
He said that like no. Like there was like meaning behind that. No.
What he does.
Guys, hit that like button on your way through if you don't mind.
Well, what about
as I explained that, though, you see, and I'm sure you guys all know the big event that Waylon and I are in come April. the big hurdle right now is, as I said, charities, reputable, honest to goodness charities that are going to help people and not siphon off, $100 grand just because that's their, that's their Bahama vacation this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so difficult to find those.
Well, but the publicity of the event should be enough to entice somebody, you would think.
Well,
But maybe it's not always
we're
what.
not advertising that we're giving to charity. We haven't yet. We
Well,
should actually.
You're freely giving away 61 pounds of cannabis, so that should be.
65 actually.
That's not considered. Isn't that a write-offable thing? Like you're gonna light it up and then blow it to the crowd. That's that's charitable.
It's donating, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
No, but you know something? It's not so much charity, but more of an experience of a lifetime. Not only for myself, but everybody I know that comes along. You know what I mean? Fucking 20 years
Yeah.
from now, you're gonna be sitting down with your grandkids smoking a joint. You're gonna go, kids, I fucking rolled that son's a bitch, man. It was huge, and you just got grandpa points now, right?
by that time you'll be saying it was 300 pounds. I tell you what, it was
No,
as big
you
as a
will be.
whale.
And I hold it up there
Yeah.
like Jesus. Just.
501 okay.
Yeah, I alone held it up.
So 501c3 is what a charity, isn't it the same thing, isn't it?
That's a non-profit charity.
Okay.
What's that?
Now,
501c3.
in America at least, yeah, or in the U.S. I should say. So the other thing is, what is it? Like not Shell Corp, like a lot of famous people or politicians will open a charity so that they have a way to dump their money away from them.
That is called a shell, isn't it?
Taxes and things. I think I'm
Where
not
because they
Shell
can funnel,
Corporation.
they funnel money
Another word for
through
it.
there, right?
Yeah, what is it called?
Like you could
Foundation?
opening a nonprofit or a foundation. Yes, a foundation for sure.
A foundation. They all have foundations. They all have foundations. That's how they get out of their taxes.
That's
Yeah.
the word. Yep. Oh, I heard it. There's Kasia. What's up, Kasia? My boss wants out. I'll be right back. Kasia, do you have any? You know what? We haven't heard a word from Steve-O. Steve-O, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. I do have a burning question though.
Let's hear it.
What do you guys think about government allocated programs such as like Medicaid? Do you think that Medicaid, where where the bills of the low income and poor people
welfare? You mean?
Yeah. No, not
Well,
welfare.
no, he's talking about medical, not welfare, but just
Medical.
medical.
Welfare,
Just
isn't it?
paying the medical bills. Do you think that that's a charity?
I don't know that I look at it as welfare.
It's involuntary. It's
As
tax
charity.
money.
It's
charity,
unearned,
not
so I get
welfare.
it. But I when I think of welfare, do think of cash or the food stamps, SNAP
Well,
card
not-
or whatever.
Not
That's what I think
welfare.
of right off the bat. It's food stamps and SNAP and cash assistance.
Not
I don't
welfare.
think of
Because
medical
here you'll get
insurance.
medical before you'll get any of the other stuff here in
Right.
California. They'll give you medical because
Yeah.
Then you get
it's
the
kind
food,
of shit
I'm-
anyway.
you get the
I'm
food
not
stamps to make
talking
a phone
about
call if they're in the mail. But medical is a whole different thing.
Yeah. I'm not talking about it being welfare. I'm talking about it being a charity, though, because
That's what I mean. I personally don't think it's a charity because it's an involuntary pool of money. No one is voluntarily paying into Medicare.
Right.
You can. If you want to, you can pay extra taxes. I don't know if people know this, but you can voluntarily pay all the taxes you want. If you feel like you should. To Charlene's point, some people have so much money they feel like they should. Then they sort of get it in their head that everybody should be more giving. Well, it's much easier when you have. There's a tipping point that so much money in the bank will make more money on itself than what you can spend, and so that's like the tipping point. And although the interest rates change and stuff, so that kind of changes it up. But people that own a lot of money, they don't own, the money's not in the bank. They own property. They own assets.
Yeah, they don't, well, like you said, own money, but it's not the money they have. They have things that are worth money.
Yeah, assets.
So, yeah.
Hi, Kat.
Yeah.
So Kasia came back first, so I want to give Kasia a minute to if she has anything. Kasia, go.
Huh? Oh, hi.
Have you ever given to any charities? Working for anyone? You've done accounting work.
I've done accounting and stuff. I did not so much charity stuff, but like volunteer stuff.
Wow.
Like when I did massage therapy, I volunteered for like marathons and stuff like that to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Massage for the athletics, or there are some places, like there's this one place in Rhode Island. It's called the Sunrise House. I don't know if it still exists or not, but it was people that were.
You're from Rhode Island?
I'm from Massachusetts.
I was at the Sunrise House volunteering in the end.
Not so, I don't know where I was in that, but we'd go once every other week, I think, to just massage the patients that were there.
What's happened is all the smaller AIDS organizations in Rhode Island have become one. And it's the Sunrise Corporation that is running whatever's happening now in the state.
But they were HIV positive.
Sorry, Kat. Kat's not having some audio issues. Interesting.
I think we lost John.
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
There you go. You're back.
But yeah, it
Right,
like
Kat.
so they had some medical issues and stuff like that, and weren't always doing good. A massage helped. It helped relieve the pains of going through all of the medical things that they'd have to go through.
Well, we talked about it earlier. You don't have to be in an organized charity to be doing charitable works.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, it's we all, anyone that's old enough to remember it's the show Friends. I'll be there. There's a famous episode where they try to point out that there's no selfless act. There's no act that you can do that's completely selfless, in which case you aren't getting some sort of a good feeling out of it, a good, boost of your own self-worth, or I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to think of another. 7. That's not the
If
word.
you watch Friends, man, you'll know what 7 means.
Okay.
I was watching Seinfeld last night. This is just
You're right.
interesting because I wasn't thinking that it was charity, and he walked away. I'm sure he can still hear though. And they all chose to do charity, like donate their time towards, disabled or elderly. It was that episode. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it's interesting.
I remember
it's not safe to do it the same way now that they did it then,
Hi, Zach. Yeah, no, I heard you, but unfortunately, she hasn't figured out how to shut the door yet. She can't let herself out.
Damn dog!
She can let herself in, so that's good.
They can feed themselves, open the doors, but
what does everybody think about? Does the charity? Does your overall opinion on charity affect whether or not you give to a charity in the first place?
Yes.
Absolutely.
When I see the guys ringing the bell outside at Christmas time, it just automatically puts me off, which is kind of, like I said earlier, it's weird that that's our automatic thought now. But then,
that's literally their job. It's just like
Right.
when they hit the street, you go, oh God. I mean,
But that's Salvation Army.
yeah.
Salvation Army at Christmas time did a thing that posted that they did not help anyone who was gay, lesbian,
Right.
They did a whole thing about that. So
Mhm.
I used to donate to them. They'd call me and I'd say, no, and this is the reason I'm not donating to you anymore. Please put that on my chart,
See, and then so there's some people that believe where I guess it would be the same in that case, where as long as they're donating, once they leave, it's their deed is done. Their good deed is done. The money is left their hand, and where it goes is not to be of worry to them, and that is the true charitable act, I think. If someone, like, well, I messaged Doc, but I haven't heard from him. Doc will do that, and when he helps the homeless, yep, some of them might go out and get a hit or get, vodka or whatever, but that's going to make them feel better for that day. That's what they're doing. He's just feeling better, helping them get through a day, or sometimes a week or longer. So,
well, with you saying
I kind of feel the same way.
With you saying a true charitable act, let's jump into Connected Clothing. That's one that you are a member of and that you donate every chance you get to.
I donate what cash I can, and then obviously my time. And you were here for this one, so yeah. I personally had how many did we do this time?
There was over 1,500 backpacks.
Did we do 1,500?
Yep.
Yes, they're here, and their organization is to keep every parolee employed and out of jail. And they started this 10 years ago, and it was just their printing company, obviously.
That's
Connected
what parole
Clothing
should be doing, but yeah.
Right, and it doesn't. But they had their own house, and this is what we kind of talked about for a second the other day. Is they had a house where they were able to house these, these men and women. Well, I think there were only men in this house that got out, and some of them, that's where they were thriving. And the city shut them down because, things weren't up to code and this and that, and they couldn't afford it. And it's super sad that they've worked that hard just for them to condemn the house or shut the house down because it was a charity being, done within the house. But I can personally say that I've had my hand just this year. I've been able to personally help 1,500 kids get backpacks. And that feels fucking amazing.
And they were backpacks stuffed full of school supplies. I was there to help do it. It was amazing, amazing feeling.
Yeah, and this is something I do every year. It's my time, and then if I can donate financially too. But it's the same with the Christmas one I do. I will at minimal donate my time to be there to help these kids go home with a gift and a picture with Santa and have a good time. I dress like a freaking elf so they can have the experience, and it makes me feel good to be able to help the kids and the families and to do that. So
and you'd be surprised on how much it means to them. We used to have people, the nursing homes would make hats and scarves and gloves for when I worked at Rhode Island Project Aid. So when we'd have our Christmas party, everybody got something. And they would open it up and be like, oh my God, look at this. And I'm like thinking to my kids, you've got a whole drawer full that your grandmother made you won't even use. And these people are so excited to get a hat and get whatever they got,
Charlene, I actually have tears in my eyes. Caden, my son, was 1 pound 15 ounces. He was in the NICU for a very long time, and to this day, I have his very first blanket, which is about this big, and his hats that were all knitted by like an elderly ladies knitting club, and it meant so much to me. As a new mom, that there was someone there to do that. And I still have the cap he came home with, probably wouldn't fit on 3 of my fingers. It's just, but they take their time and effort and, their craft, and they do that to help, little babies that may not even make it, but that's what they're doing.
And that's a lot of things too, is people don't understand, and we get it a lot. We hear it a lot because of some of the things that we do in the 427-time family is, oh, I wish I could donate more. I wish I could give you more cash. I wish I could get more into this. And no, what you're doing is giving us your time. It's not all about the money. No, and a lot of people forget about that, is we give our time to this, that, and the other. You know, just spending 5 minutes with somebody can really make an impact and make a difference. Big brother, big sister programs.
Right.
You know, kids going through
sorry.
certain things. You know, kids going through certain cancers and stuff like that. You know, just donating a little bit of time. It's not always the money situation. So.
Yeah, because you're donating your time. Yeah, definitely. It's volunteering your
time.
Well,
the Big Brother, Big Sister organization, you know, donating your time to that can do immense, you know, change kids' lives. Literally change their lives. They have no one else.
Lazy.
Well, even at that Christmas party, for example, I would look around because staff, you know, we weren't supposed to all sit together and have a party there. We were there. We weren't being paid, of course, but we were there for the clients. And I'd look around, find the guy all by himself. Okay, that's where I'm eating my meal, and I'd go sit with him and talk to him, and you know. And
Donna, that's terrible.
He brought me a gift to the office from his country, an ashtray from his country. I still have it, an ashtray from his country.
That's awesome.
There was a charity that helped out a lot when Kyra passed away. It's one of those things that most parents don't know that they're gonna become a bereaved parent. It just happens, and no one's prepared for that 2 months after you give birth, that you're gonna be burying your child. You know, so but they helped a lot, like a lot, because that was a lot that I had to go through, but at the same time, they helped with, they helped with a lot, and they do a lot for a lot of families and stuff.
Now,
and
what
they even
state
do
is that?
Washington.
Washington.
I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, brain fart, but I'll come back and comment the name of the organization after.
Waylon, did you want to read Kat?
Yeah, I definitely want to come back to that, but I want to point out too, do you guys, I just had to pose a question. Do you guys think it's easier to give to a charity that has something directly to do with your life experience or someone in your life? Like say, like what you're saying, Kasia, the people who volunteered a lot of times had the same situations. They felt so closely to that situation, so they felt the most like apt or the most equipped to help people with it. So other situations like disabled veterans, when I go into the supermarket and they ask if I want to give $1, I actually say no. So I'm like, I'm already receiving money for that. Why?
Right. You're like, why am I going to give it to you when it's coming back?
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like, are we more likely to give to something if we know someone that has that issue, or we know if it's something connected in our lives? I think so.
I believe so. You know, like every day I wear my suicide awareness bracelet that you are not alone, with the suicide awareness hotline number on there. Yeah, every time somebody asks to donate to suicide awareness or anything like that, if it's changed my pocket, if it's rounding up, whatever it is, absolutely. The other wrist, I wear the breast cancer awareness. You know, breast cancer is a huge one. Right. So anytime that comes up, I really do. And I'm not even second guessing if it's a reputable source, reputable charity or not. So, you know, they're just
the thing
real
is,
quick, and then it's like, yep, go ahead. You know,
I think that can become a problem
triggers,
too.
Yep, it really could, exactly. Because you don't know if it's an actual reputable source. You're like, oh yeah, that triggers one of my strengths. You know, that's where we go back to that commercial saying,
exactly. Where it shows the kids.
You know, can give this person clean water, and another 25 cents can give them a book to read, and and $100 can give them a house. Evidently, let's go with that. Let me send you $100 real quick and build this person a house.
Right. Yeah, they make it.
And they're set for a couple of years. Evidently, damn.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what I mean?
In the country, I've heard in like Jamaica, if you go away from the resorts, you could live with $500 for a year. But again, that's not, a kid isn't gonna get a house, right? But I do want to go back to Kat. Sorry, Kat. You've got a lot to say, and I wish StreamYard was a little bit easier on phones, but I think that's, unfortunately, I think phones and StreamYard are a little bit more difficult than on the computer with that solid connection. But anyway, what she says here, and she's got a lot in the comments. I just want to read this first one because it makes the point. A lot of the animal rescues here are not charitable organizations, although they run fully on donations and volunteers. To get the charity status and to still have enough to run the rescue is very hard. And so the point there is that there's a bunch of red tape and there's a bunch of government hands in the pot. Oh, you have to have permits and you got to do this and that. Like I know in my area, it's illegal to give food away in certain places because of liabilities and things like that. And so they try to make it. They try to make it. And I can get that in some ways. You know, there's risk. There's risk in life. But when people want to give food away, go ahead, Dale.
I'm not giving food away, Waylon. Do you guys anywhere out in the States, because they have them all over Calgary here, they're called community pantries. And if you've got
food banks,
extra food, cans of this, you put it in there, and somebody else in your neighborhood perhaps needs it. They go in there, add their stuff, take what they need.
Yeah. We have their food banks. We have them here. I think
these are on the end of your block.
Okay, so like the library book ones. I've seen the library book ones. We don't have a whole lot.
Yes.
Yeah, when COVID hit, there was a lady here, but no, we don't generally have those. But when COVID hit, there was a lady that put up a giving table. And that's exactly what it was, because there were, she'd have hand sanitizer. There'd be just dog food, and you'd bring and take as you needed. And that went on in her front yard for probably 3 months. It was amazing. It was amazing to watch how many people would replenish it, and then how many people would just bring huge donations and who needed what. It was really cool. And we should have more like that. But I think here, we're all about, where I live in California, so it's the nanny state. So God forbid we do that and someone gets sick, and then there's people will poison someone else, or there's just no trust. You can't do that,
So Stephanie, what's up? Have you ever given to a charity?
I gotta go, guys. Thank you very much for having me, guys, today. It was great.
Nice to see you.
Have a great night, Dale.
Always a pleasure.
See you, Dale.
I'm gonna have to mute myself for just a minute, but I'll be here.
Hi, Stephanie.
You're muted.
Hi, Stephanie.
Steph, you're muted.
She's like, what?
Yeah, you'll have to. Well, maybe I can help you with that. I mean,
She's like, I don't know how.
You have to click the microphone picture at the bottom. All right. Well, yeah, it'll be at the bottom. Is it? There it is. Still not hearing you. Say something. Can you guys hear her?
I don't hear at all.
No, did you give permissions for your microphone?
She broke it.
Might have to just leave and come back. Try it again.
Do you have a Bluetooth connected to your phone?
That could be it. Or,
That happens too
or your
sometimes.
vehicle sometimes.
That happens a lot.
If you have Bluetooth nearby, yeah, it's huge. That's why I stopped using it.
Every time my wife
I
fired
had
up my
somebody
car,
in the car, and I was talking about the person in the car to the person on the phone, and it was going through the car speakers. So that was fun.
Oh yeah, I've gotten pinched the same way, right, Waylon? I've gotten pinched doing the same thing.
So I did want to look at a little bit of this before. Like, I guess we had a heck of a conversation without any of this, which is great, because this is really just to give us some kind of backbone on it if we need it. Just the definition: charity, an organization does it. Okay, it is saying that it's an organization. Oh no, the second balance. Oh, never mind. The organization set up to provide help and raise money for those in need. Or number two would be the voluntary giving of help, typically in the form of money, to those in need. That brings me back to a question I had earlier. Has anyone ever given money to somebody when they stop at a stoplight and they're standing out there? Now, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I feel like if I was that desperate and I've been, damn close, I don't think that I would do that. And we've now found that a ton of those people are doing that as a damn near 9-to-5 job. I think I would be going somewhere that was. Hello, Stephanie. Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clear.
So,
well, go ahead. Yeah.
Now, or?
Yeah. Go ahead.
On this thing.
Can you set that still? Making me nauseous.
I'm sorry. Okay, can I turn it down?
Yep.
So you're bigger. Okay. Yeah, I'm really big on charity. I've always been a very compassionate person, and I mean, even when I don't have, when I shouldn't. But I worked at the Fulton County Humane Society volunteered there for over 10 years, and they are completely run by volunteers. So they just depend on people to work there out of the goodness of their hearts to make it run. And I would go there for like a century, or not a century, I'm sorry, a decade.
Wow.
Like,
That's like,
as I could.
We're all zooming in, like, who is she? Wait.
how old are you?
Yeah.
Girl, who does it?
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I would go there, and I would socialize with the cat mainly, but I don't know. I don't mind doing shit work, like cleaning dogs. Cleaning runs or cat.
And again, that's what we're talking about, is your time. You know, a shelter can use money, but you know what? They can use, oh my God, they can use an extra hand. Those animals are a lot.
I did a ton of laundry, and
right. People don't realize all that other stuff.
And I also did volunteer orientations for a while before I got pregnant. Because then when I got pregnant, I was like, I don't think I should be in here at the shelter, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much when I stopped going semi-regularly. But that was so gratifying to me. I had money from Social Security disability through my dad, who died when I was little. And I had enough money to live, you know, and people would look down on me, because I didn't have a paying job. And it's I'm doing something that warms my heart, you know, something that gives me so much gratification. I love what I do. And,
and it all comes down to money for so many people. Why do you do anything if you're not getting paid? Well, because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, and I've come back to this a lot of times. We've talked about depression. We've talked about mental health. I fully believe that happiness typically, or not happiness, but fulfillment, or what's the other word?
Totally know where you're going.
It comes out of purpose. It comes from purpose, from responsibility. Or purpose comes from responsibility.
I'm not gonna lie. I say I do it out of a selfish reasons because it makes me feel good.
It makes you have purpose. It makes you feel like you're doing something bigger than yourself, or in some way.
Definitely.
That has its own sort of high, right? Its own dopamine rush, its own benefit to yourself. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of, I don't know. It's fairly similar to when you get your chores done, when you get your homework done, you know, that feeling of I accomplished something.
Accomplishment. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe that's the word I was thinking of. What's up?
I got a question. We've been here talking an hour and 17 minutes, something like that.
Oh yeah. Thanks everybody.
You know, and I guess I'm just ignorant on the situation because I've never been faced with it, but where does community service fall into line? Because if you have to do community service by order of the court, by the law, this and that, you're going to these animal shelters, you're going to these places that you're not donating, but you are forced to do time.
You're literally paying to do that.
Yeah, that's true. You got to pay fines and to do that. Yeah,
you're paying to work on those hours wherever they are.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't. Go on.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You can go ahead.
It's hard when, when there's an audio only person because we can't see her making her face move as she starts to talk.
I was feeding my dog, and I didn't want to movement for you guys. I just didn't want to walk around so much. Anyway.
I don't know if there like already is something like this. Not that I know of, but like when I was volunteering for the shelter, I mean, I did a lot of other things too, like adoptions and stuff, and working at PetSmart to try to adopt out the animals and stuff. But I felt like, I mean, you know, there's so many people in this country who don't work and they live off the government, whatever. I feel like people, if you're receiving money and you're, I mean, for whatever reason, I feel like you should be obligated to help, you know,
donate your time and help. Okay.
Yeah.
So isn't that a right to work state? Don't they have right? They used to. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're talking about that's a double. Like you would be hitting them at both ends then. Because not only are they someone already on the low end, which is not easy to just to move up, but then you would be hitting them in their time, which is their most valuable thing. The only valuable thing that a poor person has is their time, right? And you can't force them to go and give it up for free when they are already trying to make ends meet. So I know what you're saying. Yeah. It would be tough unless there was some way that we paid them, which there you go. Volunteer for the military, volunteer for Coast Guard. What's that charity that people go overseas? Volunteer for the.
There's so many.
Yeah,
Doctors with Borders or whatever.
Oh, actually,
Doctors with. That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
I got it right here, guys. UNICEF. That
UNICEF.
UNICEF. You got Natural Resources Defense Council, NRDC, never heard of that one. Doctors Without Borders, Jason. The ALSAC, ST, what that? Okay. Disabled American Veterans, I've never heard of that one. World Wildlife Fund, that's in DC. Oh, surprise, a couple of these are in DC. American Red Cross. Okay, I've never heard of that one. Just kidding. The Nature Conservancy or Conservancy. It says Conservancy.
Oh.
Arlington, Virginia.
Right, Valerie.
Yeah, there's a few of these like top 100.
Yeah.
Here's one top 100 charities.
But I'm not even like I'm not saying that people should have to work a lot, but I mean, log like a certain amount of hours, you know, I don't know. That's just how, I don't know. I feel like people who don't have a conventional job could give of something even on a weekend, on a Saturday, you know?
Well, that's what I mean. It's hard to do that. Then maybe you could just be, you might be just talking about like socialism or communism where everybody has a job and everyone's forced to work at a job, forced to work somewhere and told what their job should be.
Well, I think a lot of people that don't work, right? That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people that don't work,
medical conditions, or what are we just talking about wanting to sit here and live off the state because they had 30 kids?
Yeah, we talk welfare,
what are we talking here?
Disability, Social Security.
Certain age because after a certain age in retirement, fuck you, I'm sitting at home. You know, so it's
and are we talking about just an alcoholic that
Mike, that's where I was going with it. Some people can't go and give any time because of their disabilities or whatnot. That's why I was asking those questions.
And if that person's already someone who can't keep a job because they're late or they can't do the job, how are they expected to then be doing a forced job? It's
exactly. No, so it depends on the situation. You know, it totally depends on the situation and stuff, because I know people that live off the state and that's all they're going to do. They're not going to get a job. They're not going to do anything. And, you know, they figured out a way to manipulate things. I know people that need to live off the state and can't because of people that have manipulated the system, you know, so it's different in every single certain situation.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
that
So you guys
broad,
see
like
this?
Valerie said, that broad sweeping statement. We can't have it's hard with that broad sweeping statement like that.
Mm-hmm.
So look at this list. Forbes top 100 from this was in 2022. Let me make sure what day, just to give people December 13th of last year. And I've never heard of Feeding America. That's interesting. $4.21 billion in revenue. Private
Wow.
donations, 4.6 billion, 4.06. Fundraising efficiency, 99%. Okay, I don't know where they're getting that. I'm not going to take this with a grain of salt, but it's interesting. You got St. Jude, which is a huge one. That's number 3.
Mhm.
Still only a couple billion, though. United Way. Okay, I've heard of that one before. But I've never heard of Feeding America. Interesting.
I have.
I feel like I have. I feel like isn't that on like every sign that we see? Isn't there like that
Maybe.
little?
I probably just
Feeding America.
Like I feel like
Yeah.
I can see the logo.
Yeah.
click on it.
That's
Could.
not, yeah. I've totally.
Actually,
you guys have
it's
definitely
ironic.
seen it.
That's not
It's ironic that this is the topic tonight because just yesterday,
Feeding America.
I was giving money to Compassion International for like a year and a half. I don't know, sponsoring 2 different children in different countries, and like I've got to watch my money like very seriously right now. I'm about to be in a predicament when my alimony runs out in about 6 months, and anyway, I'm like, I called yesterday and I canceled, and I don't know, just I feel like shit about it, really, but it's like I need to watch every dime.
Well, like we're saying, you got to look for you first. You know, I mean, if you're not okay, then you can't help anybody else.
Right.
There's some of these that are 100% efficiency. Health Well Foundation, Midwest Food Bank. I've heard of that one. I want to see the lowest numbers. Who's on the? That's only.
Right. Show us the bad one.
I just got a private message. They want to know everybody's opinion on GoFundMe.
It's we talked about it a little bit. It's a crowdfunding. I actually looked between GoFundMe and Kickstarter for a while to do my research to see if I should do one of those. And I actually set up a Kickstarter campaign, which is a lot more like an investment than a charity. But GoFundMe is much more like a charity, I think, because it's a personal charity. It's a personal cause, at least, and then you can decide if you want to give to that person. I think it's fine, although there's been scams, like anything. With anything good, you're going to find some kind of scam, like, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much money does actually the GoFundMe organization take?
I believe it's 5%. At least that might be Kickstarter as well. Hey, Joe Kelly, what's up?
Hi, Joe or Lisa.
What's up, Joe?
I don't, but I heard what it say. I don't, but I heard about him. Okay.
They're talking about Dale Rook.
Okay.
He was actually in here just a little while ago. You may have seen him in here.
Yeah, he was up.
But yes, that's what he does. He helps with medicine for folks in his area.
Yeah, if you can get over to him, definitely.
Yeah.
Lisa May, what's up?
Like Mike says, it's abused by scammers big time. I truly believe so.
Yeah.
I truly believe so.
What do you guys? I have a question. What do you guys think when you pull up to that stoplight and it's not a homeless person or a person that's trying to look homeless? It's a police officer or a firefighter holding his boot upside down, and he's holding his boot out at you. Doesn't that seem a little bit odd that we can't take care of it through municipals, even though we can't spend our money properly, and then they have to come at us on top of that to ask for more? Now, I get it.
Thing here, yeah.
I can understand it from both sides. I'm sure there's like fundraisers that they would do, but that's not a fundraiser. That's a
my thing is here, because I don't really understand why it's caused more accidents than it's helped. And if it was anybody else standing in the middle of the road trying to collect money, They would get arrested.
Yeah.
They would be forced.
They
to
made
do
it
this,
illegal
that, and the
here,
other.
but Jason, you saw how many people
Oh,
will
yeah.
stand at the red light here. It's
They still
it's
do it.
illegal to do it.
But
People here will stand in the drive-through at the
Well,
order line, right where you order. It's crazy.
That's a good point though, because they don't just stand at the median like
No.
like a
Right.
homeless person would. They
No, they walk
in the
down
middle
the
of the
road.
lanes, and yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
in and out of the cars,
Yeah.
all of it. And I don't agree with it. And I think the money should come from the government for the funding or
Yeah.
you shouldn't be collecting handouts.
Now, do I
Ours
think
will
that
be
they
in
should
like
make
a
up
mall
for it.
parking lot.
what if they did like the police department bake sale?
Really,
or
Mike?
what if they
Exactly.
did a
Do it.
Right.
what if
Run
they did
it.
a
Yeah.
sparring match where all the police
Come
got
out
to
and
like
play
do a
with the
tournament
kids.
style like with pads and
A
stuff?
car
and
wash.
That's a good
they paid
idea.
tickets.
Yeah,
Come
a
out and
car
play with the
wash.
kids.
Yeah,
Come out and do something for the community with the community.
Show
Don't
us
just
how
walk up
badass
and
you
down
are.
and
basketball
scare the
game.
community.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basketball. I want to
Yep.
see them get pads on and do some sparring with each
Something.
That's
other
what-
and
Yeah,
release
get
and
out
sell
and
tickets, man. I think
Yep.
that'd be
Yep.
badass. It would make us feel okay. Maybe not everybody, but some
More-
of us even we might like him a little more. Oh man, that dude took
Yeah.
that other dude out, just like we would
like more
sports.
in tune
you
with
know,
them because it's like they're one of
exactly.
us because they're out in the community, not in their uniform,
Turn
and
them
not
into
Right.
our sports stars. Turn them into
Yeah.
like
There you go.
create a popularity behind them in order to make them like us in return. Because right now they think no one likes them, and we think we don't. You know, it's you know what I'm saying. That would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm rambling
Be
now.
like a
but
tough
it
man contest.
could
I
be fun.
agree that they should have to do something for it. They should do something. Now I understand here in the comments it says
I
lack
agree
of
with
funding.
selling the calendars
Exactly.
personally, but
You know,
Yeah.
lack of funding sucks.
let's
But
make calendars,
we have
gentlemen
to
and ladies.
allocate better. We have to make sure it's better. Make sure, you know, because that's people voting. They decided to vote on that. You know what I mean? I
Guns
don't want to
and
get into
hoses, I love
politics
that.
on it, but
That's
so
funny.
I love guns and hoses. That's awesome. That'd be fun. I
It
could
would.
totally see that.
but
Yeah,
you know,
there are ways, there are right ways and wrong ways. I think too.
oh, there is,
Well,
and I think there's overfund or overspending in all of it. You know, do some of
Yeah.
these offices need the equipment that they have? No, the money should go to the police in this other way to fix this, fix that. You know, so but that's a whole another topic for us.
For sure, but it kind of raises the point though. Our you know, fire departments, our police departments, they're not really charity. They are sort of a necessity. They're not necessarily socialism either. It's a very weird place that they get put in, and for us to look at them as a charity, I think that gives us the wrong image of what our public servants are supposed to be. You know, they shouldn't be something that we should look as needing charity. You know,
but then you got your
weird.
volunteers. Unfortunately, we accept our volunteer firefighters. Like that, they said earlier in the comments, like half our firefighters are volunteer now. You know, they're ran out of a rundown station that, you know, doesn't get the funding anymore. So that's why we do look at it that way.
Well, I'm in California,
Of
so our
course.
fire people definitely have funding because we're always on fire.
Ours are old houses, old firehouses. You know,
Ours are, yeah.
Still got the damn pole in it. So
That's funny.
it is. It's
Who you gonna call?
That's for the weekend.
wrong
All right.
page.
Well,
Jeremy said one of his lowest paying jobs was the Army.
so I want to change gears real quick. We've been on this for a while. Let's give it a little break. We've basically talked quite a bit on it, and we can definitely smoke. But I'm going to show you guys this little commercial I made for Steve-O and I's show.
Show the commercial and then show their entry again, because the
Yeah,
people that
let's
weren't
just
here
say
for the
that.
beginning.
Yeah, I didn't even
I'm proud of the
catch
entry.
it. I didn't know what was
that
You
happening.
did a great job with
Let's
that,
do that
man.
first. Still got 13 lovely people in here, 26 likes. Guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like button. Appreciate it for sure. All right, yeah, let's play that intro again. What we got here? Boom. Might be a
I need
little
to.
down at the end, but
I need to send you my new logo for the Waffle House. We can add that banner on there if you want.
Send me the logos, and anybody that has one that wants to be affiliated with me in some way, I guess. None of those are sponsors or just people that have been very helpful in some way or another. The NOK is our new network, and I got the 42710 up there. I got actually got most of them up here as well. So let's see, I could do this instead. Yeah, it's kind of busy. It's a little bit of a busy screen here. I think maybe I'll have to rethink this a little bit.
You're doing a great job, though, Waylon. You really
are.
are.
No, it's going great.
Very, very impressive. All your hard work, the time that you're putting into it. It's very, very impressive, brother.
Mine will fit right next to Grow Fam. We're good. Like I'm already claiming my spot.
Like, okay, there's some real estate right there.
Right. Prime real estate. I'm claiming it.
Where? Oh, I think I know where it is. There it is. Where is it?
Hi. Check out The Indoor Farmer. Come along on the journey to see what it takes to learn self-sustainability through organic growing and a do-it-yourself attitude. Now, on the NOK Network. With your hosts and my best friends, Waylon and Sir Steve-O.
Aww. I love it.
There's more. Steve-O's got a big grin on his face. I can see it from the backstage.
Fucking awesome, man. Great
That's
job.
Cool.
I like
Good job, you guys. Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not bad,
Did
huh?
you say we were going to smoke?
Not bad.
Yeah, let's smoke it. Let's hit it.
Let's do
I'll
it.
even pull the bong out over here.
Cheers,
just so
y'all.
Charlene feels better. Here you go, Charlene. I'm gonna hit this.
By the way, anybody that's buying a dragon egg, since they're coming out now, the clear part on the bottom that unscrews with the water, do not clean it with ISO because it'll turn it all cloudy. It'll
That go somewhere, guys. Let's see.
Thank you for that. Also, if you're interested in winning one and you're not a member or you are a member of the 42710 Waffle House, which is right here under my name,
Really?
we have waffle number 46 up, which is for a dragon egg, and spots are $10. We also have another one going for a plasma, a 14-inch plasma rig bong. So if you're interested, send us an request.
Pub time
which we
in
will,
the house.
Yeah, some of you are members and haven't seen us. I had been closed for a while due to illnesses, and we opened up a couple days ago, and so yeah, we have number 46, number 47 going. They're both $10 a spot, and we'd love to close those tonight. I would.
All right. Cool.
Would love
Pub time, Ryan in the house. Sorry to
What up,
interrupt
Ryan?
now.
What's going on, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while.
Guys, if you guys
Hi,
don't
Ryan.
remember,
I've never met you.
He
How we doing,
is
Melanie?
a friend of mine from high school.
Nice to meet you.
We've touched each other in spandex before.
Oh, that's so hot.
Definitely.
Do you have pictures?
I'm sure there's some around there somewhere. You know.
I don't even need to see them. I just need to know some exist. I'm
you
good.
You just go to the trophy case at the high school, you know, and it's just got a picture of all of us touching each other with one hand. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. When I go live tomorrow from your high school, you're going to flip. You're going to be like, what the fuck? She traveled 3,000 miles? Yeah.
As long as you bring that rig with you, it'd be good.
This one.
All right.
Are you the same age?
No. He's a young man. He's a younger man.
He's a couple years older, even though I got the white beard.
Man, what? Yeah, what? Wow. Oh man, you're looking distinguished.
Kids,
Very
I
distinguished.
graduated 03.
04.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my God.
So,
Did you just say you graduated in 03?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're just a baby.
Hey, Twatty.
Yep. What's up, Twatty? Come on up and tell us about what a young man thinks about when he thinks of charity. When he's 20, what are you, 23, 24 now?
23, I think he is.
23-year-old man.
I thought he was 22.
He was. I think he might have had a birthday.
One more time he was.
Thank you, Waylon. We all were. We all was.
Ryan was, he's my friend, but also the Pub Time, one of the guys from Pub Time. I don't know. I want to call him a creator. I don't know which one. It was probably a group effort thing. But he created these. I'll play the old intro here. He created this.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I mean, he created the background
I like
I'm using.
that.
He created everything. He created the people in the boxes intro. Ryan, have you seen the new people in the boxes intro?
That looks better than the shit I created for myself. I mean,
yes,
I have not.
But let's be
not
honest,
seen the people
Pub
in the
Time
boxes.
guys. If you go and see their logo, it's. Was it on purpose? I don't know if I asked you this or not.
A little bit.
But it has a certain connotation to it.
Everybody knows what it is.
Tell me it's something I would like, Waylon.
It's something that you're gonna love.
Me personally? Because
Yes.
of what I have inside.
Yes.
I may need one.
I just want a picture.
Hi.
I may or may not have an obsession with.
Is it gonna work, Val?
Val, hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm up.
Everybody say hi before she gets kicked out. Hi, Val.
Yeah.
Hi, Val. I've seen that logo.
What does it like make
I
you
just
think
want to try
of?
to get 10 people up
Oh,
here.
I
Come
tell
on.
you,
One
I
more.
know.
Pornhub.
No, I don't know
Pornhub
what you're
version.
talking about.
That's Pub Time.
Yeah, that's a Pub Time.
Yeah.
But yeah, find
Is that
them
what
all
you
over the
kids
place,
are calling it nowadays? Pub?
Spotify, Twitter. Yeah, Pub. It's a shorter version of porn. Yeah. But no, you guys are definitely doing good things. Still doing the audio still, or are you going to go video?
Oh, we've been doing both.
See, I need to catch it. Is it video on Spotify? Go ahead.
YouTube.
Oh, well, let's find that real quick.
The last one was pretty good. It was actually a good one. A lot of times we get a little too drunk. I mean, we just sit here and bullshit back and forth. So sometimes it gets a little out of pocket, but last one was really good.
Let's see. What's the exact channel? It's hard to find if you don't put it in right on Hub Space Time. There it is. Got it.
Space Time. What are you searching? Where'd you get them glasses from? That's what I need to know.
They're actually grow glasses for grow lights and
For
stuff.
lights, yeah.
But I've been getting more headaches recently, and I noticed I haven't been since I've kept my eyes more protected with all the lights in my face right now. So it's not just to look cool, but they are green, so it does actually affect with the green light or the green screen. But yeah, guys, go check my friends out here. I'm gonna hit subscribe.
Yeah.
There you go. YouTube is definitely a different sort over there. If you're smoking, or I don't know if drinking is even something they're okay with, but the algorithm doesn't like some of that stuff. But I will give you a trick though, if you guys are interested in trying to boost your YouTube, and anybody out there who is, the biggest thing right now that all the sites are driving is the shorts, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels. Stories and things, very similar videos like that, like on other platforms. And on YouTube, if you just make like 4 to 6 shorts, YouTube shorts a day, and you can make those out of your current shows using editing, and you just make those YouTube shorts, make 4, 5, 6 of them a day, spread them out a little bit, you'll shoot up way faster than just putting up even live videos or any videos. I did that one day, and I think I got like 8 subscribers that day. But I don't have time to do that all the time, and I'm not really so worried about it anymore because of my other things going on. So it's just to help anybody out. So before we get too off the rails, Ryan, have you ever given any charities? Have you ever had any situations where somebody got taken by a charity or something? You can say no. I'm gonna hit this ball, guys. Cheers.
I'm a giver, man. I love charities. They get me all the time, especially, I'll be honest, especially children. Anything for children. If they just start with hey, this is for kids,
like that Sally Struthers commercial we were talking about earlier.
While it's open,
gets me every time. Yeah,
75 cents a day.
So earlier we recorded an episode, and we were talking about Satanic Temple. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right. So our 5 for 5 was, what are 5 things you would sell your soul for? And we go through, and we had some things that were kind of out there. Well, my number one thing was to end world hunger, specifically children, because I cannot imagine as a child going to bed at night hungry for anything.
You want me to play devil's advocate?
Well,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play.
You can play whatever you want, but I'm just saying.
I'm gonna flip a switch.
I agree.
Hunger, but it's gonna be every kid eats McDonald's for the rest of their life. It's and
at least they're not starving.
Well,
exactly. I mean,
but it depends on what.
Okay, nothing or McDonald's.
Okay,
Big Mac every day.
My point is,
like that's
we have to go that extra mile when we think about what like your major thing is kids need to eat. Well, I think that's true, obviously, but then we kind of drop the buck at, well, they got, whatever it is, McDonald's, just an example. Like, my point is, like, we seem to drop the ball at that point. And I'm not saying that you do. It's just you brought that spark in my mind. It was like, man, I got to step on this, because the fact that that's my whole thing, right? Pushing nutrition. And I'm going to tell you what, there's plenty of unnutritious things in my house. It's cheaper to eat at
McDonald's. It's cheaper to eat at McDonald's than to eat,
100%,
eat healthy.
100%.
So
it's
that they don't make it easy for that. Yeah.
And I have plenty of unhealthy. I have plenty of junk food in here, and it annoys the shit out of me that I want to go for it, that I want that sugar. It really pisses me off, but
but that's where I believe in moderation. You can have a Snickers bar, you can have a scoop of ice cream, you can have anything that you want, truly, in moderation. Our problem is we don't understand when to stop. We don't understand what a serving is. We sit there and eat the whole bag of chips instead of eating the 15 chips that is one serving. We sit there and drink the whole 2 liter of soda or 12-ounce bottle of soda instead of the one serving, which is 10 ounces, or whatever it is. Right. We eat the whole thing. We eat.
That's an American. I think that's a
12-ounce steak
huge
instead
American
of
thing.
a 6-ounce burger.
Well, let me lighten our conscience a little
prime
bit.
rib.
It's some of it is primal, guys. Our bodies back, in the hunter-gatherer stages.
Bunny.
We hey, what's up, Bunny? But
Did
our
you read
bodies
that?
were. I will read it real quick because I have a long thing to say. Damn, is this about healthy eating? Because I can leave now. I don't want the negativity in my life today. No, it wasn't. I just was saying that has to be a little bit of a focus when we think about what can we do. I don't want to just feed the world with soybeans. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I was saying, Bunny. I'm sorry about that. Now I forgot what I was going to say earlier.
It was a really long something, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it was
Out of here with
important.
that shit, Waylon. Shut the fuck up. We eating
yeah,
around
she's
here.
right. I feel
We
scolded.
eating
I
this
feel
bit.
it. Yeah. Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. It's a primal thing. So our bodies are used to eating almost anything except carbohydrates. So whenever in nature, whenever we found carbohydrates, it was it's sweet and it's sugary and it's something that we suddenly are like, oh, this is good, right? And I remember seeing this on another podcast. I forget what, but they were talking about this, how it's like that was a thing that was so rare, but then we through ingenuity and whatever population increase, we now we can eat nothing but carbohydrates all day, which is like crazy because our brains are wired to think, oh, that's a rare treat. So you can eat that rare treat all day now. So it's very weird.
How many different times in our lifetime, and I know several of us can vouch for it, have we been told that, oh, eggs are good for you, and then eggs are bad for you, and eggs are good for you, and then eggs are bad for you again, and eggs are good for you again. And, you know, it depends on what year it is, basically, whether or not eggs are good or bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it depends on what diet you're on.
They're only good for the rich.
Moderation.
Well, and that brings us back to
Every
charity.
day.
You do? I get sick of eggs over time. I kind of said something bad earlier. I throw eggs away every now and then if I have a few left and they've sat for too long because I didn't want any, and it's like a week long. I'm
I've thrown a lot of eggs away too.
I don't trust them now.
That too, but yeah, it's just a quick snack. You know, a protein snack that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's like Valerie says there, coffee's good and then coffee's bad. You know, a little bit of caffeine is actually good for you. But how much caffeine? 6 ounces. You know, 1 cup of coffee, not 5 of these a day.
So this actually brings us back to charity. But real quick, Ryan, I wanted to tell you, I like your set, bro. I know
what you got.
I could tell that you worked on that set and everything. It's different from when I was over there, so I want to tell you that looks awesome. I forgot to tell you.
You're digging the Reefer Madness poster. I know what you're getting at.
I couldn't see the reefer word.
See it?
There's a glare. Your light's got a glare on it.
I can't turn the light, but
I got you.
it's there.
I can just see the madness part.
We're gonna
we gotta do funny statement there.
So I can
Buddy's
see it.
Killing it tonight, guys.
They turned dishonest into.
Hey guys, I have to go to sleep.
All right. That's
so
okay.
tired.
You're not obligated to hang out, but I appreciate your input.
Good night,
Thank
Stephanie.
you for hanging out.
Nice to meet you.
Good night.
Nice to meet you
Good
guys.
seeing you again, Stephanie.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Good seeing you again. Bye.
Yes, you too.
Talk
to you later.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, how do I?
There's a red X. There you go. I didn't want to be rude and start talking for my next statement until she had left, but no, like we talked about food stamps and whether that's charity and stuff. I don't think it is because it's involuntary payment, but then on the other end where food stamps are allowing us to buy the worst types of food, although who's going to tell you what's good food for you and bad food for you,
right?
So it becomes a freedom issue, but then it's also a health issue, and it's crazy because it comes back to how life has risk and how much you have to decide how much risk you're willing to take on to get to have freedom versus how much safety you want to have with less freedom. And everybody, I think, individually has to make that choice. And so with charity, you have to decide whether you feel able to give to people above and beyond your own means, right?
They've already tried regulating the food stamps by, where it can't be prepared hot foods because most prepared hot foods are unhealthy.
One
Ryan.
thing I'm a huge fan of is, which they've been doing locally quite a bit, is like those local gardens, and they get the kids in. The city maybe has some, say it's a lot where they knocked a house down and nothing's been put there for 5 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be, and now it's a community garden. I love.
And where are you at, brother?
Illinois. I'm literally maybe
He's
10
close to
minutes
me
from Wayland.
All right.
Jason's in Detroit, near Detroit, right? And
yeah, I'm near Detroit, Michigan. I mean, we have, what is that called? Down at the brewery.
I know they have some gardens like that there.
Yeah, they're like small gardening thing, but nothing where it's for children or anything. Like you can come and farmer's market. Yeah, where a bunch of people pull up in their vehicles and set up a quick little booth and give out fruits and vegetables.
Oh, like a pop-up farmer's market. Okay.
So I think in Detroit they have plenty of opportunity to do something like this because you see the videos where there's houses been sitting there.
Oh yeah,
caught on fire. They've been demolished, whatever the case may be,
looted and everything. Yeah,
you could set up a community garden. They come out, they plant in the beginning of spring, and people can just come and take as they need. You know what I mean? It's maintained, it's taken care of. It's a small plot of land. It's not huge. You could do a couple throughout a city the size of Detroit or Peoria or wherever.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Teach
I agree.
the children how to be sustainable.
They should be smaller and spread out instead of like giant factory farms. I think there should be there should be as many farms as we have Starbucks in the city.
Oh yeah,
you could plant a little one on this block, that block, whatever, and I think it's a great idea.
Well, and that's where I agree with Waylon with the indoor farming aspect of it. You know, the self-sustainability, the indoor farming aspect, you know, because we're taking up too much of our space outdoors with it. I truly believe so. So
they cut down more forestry, more Amazon and more other forestry every year just to make more farmland than any other act. I mean, paper or anything else that we use wood for. They're just taking it down in order to make more farmland. And I'm thinking, what does farmland have in common with us? It's the same place that we want to live. So why couldn't we move farms to places where we don't want to live? You know, like more like desolate type places, but nobody wants to live. Anyway, we're well medicated. That's okay. I think we're done with that subject, guys.
It still goes back to it though a little bit. You know, it still goes back to donating your time to that park. You know, to that garden, to that area because it's not going to be able to run itself for free. So after your 8 hours of working that day, are you going to go and spend 4 hours in your neighborhood garden to make sure that your community can get fruits and vegetables?
Right.
Are you going to say the dude that didn't work for 8 hours today could go spend 4 hours there because I just worked 8 hours and he had the day off, or he's not working as hard as I am?
That's where it's tough. I think incentive comes into play. Just like with charity, I think if we incentivize people with the fact that we promote it, like we think it's a good thing, that's where the incentive comes from. But that's also the incentive for scams and for bad stuff to come in. But I think when you want to help people, you basically have to incentivize them to also help themselves. You know. In some cases that's not an option. I mean, I'm not trying to say every case. I just mean in general, you have to, like, there's this I think it's in Florida. I forget what town in Florida, but they actually eliminated their homeless, and it wasn't by getting rid of them. It was by creating this situation where they had this program that they could get into, and they first got a really tiny house. And they moved up through the program to get a less tiny house, and then a less tiny, and then they have like a slightly bigger one. The first one's like a closet basically, and it has just enough space for them to have a bed and a place to sleep. And by showing their what's the word, like by doing well and by showing that they care that they're there and stuff and participating in whatever their different programs, and I think they had work programs and stuff. Participating and showing they want to do it, they kept moving up to a little bit more comfortable living space, and they interviewed the people running it, and the people that were participating, and everybody was happy because it wasn't, hey, let me shove you in this building with a whole bunch of other homeless people and we'll call it a shelter and Merry Christmas. Instead, it was, here, have your own space. use your own power to maintain your own space, to have your own like semblance of humanity, a semblance of what's the word, dignity, right? And then left it up to the people to decide whether they wanted to work and maintain what they had in the small little house, or work themselves up to like a better and better situation. And
Well,
most of
isn't
them
that
actually wanted to.
kind of like give a man to fish, he can eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he can, feed a village.
Absolutely.
So
It's the gospel of John.
I agree. Yeah, and I really like that. I wish I had more details on it, but instead of just giving money and throwing money around.
That, what do you think? It made me trigger the Habitat for Humanity. That one, building houses for people and then putting them in the house, but then they have to be able to afford them bills after that.
Right. That's the problem, is that you can't just give them a full-size house. Here you go.
Right.
You got to maintain it.
Huge, massive house. And there was a TV shows a while back that I remember that they would build these elaborate houses and for people that were disabled or their children, they had autistic kids or things like that. But it come to me that these people, there's no way they could afford these types of houses after the bills, the heating, the electricity, so
well, a lot of them couldn't afford the taxes.
The taxes alone.
Not just that, though. Not just that, but you could give somebody a large house when they haven't even had a home. They can't maintain that. They can't keep that clean. They don't know, like, and it's. I'm not saying that they're not capable. I'm saying that that's too big of a jump. That's too. If you give them the small place, they get used to it. Okay, I'm taking care of it now. I can move into a little bigger space because this is under control, and I have this understanding of my atmosphere now. So that's what the idea is, moving up. But yeah, I don't think they can. Maybe if they started doing tiny houses or something, but I don't know. It doesn't. One of my ideas charitably was that if I can build this business big enough, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going after food, guys. It's not because, hey, I want to be a farmer, but hey, every single person eats. So that's the biggest possible business demographic you can have, right? So yeah. I go that way because then what happens? If I can build a business off of the thing that everyone needs, which shouldn't be that difficult, hopefully, eventually, if I find the right products, right, to sell. But then I can use the excess of wealth or profit to then do charitable things. Like I would love to have a whole system where I only hired felons, like a whole thing where I hired felons, where I hired disabled veterans to do whatever it is they could do. I don't care if you're, I'm not going to even pick a scenario, but any situation, there's something for you to do. And I always thought the Boys and Girls Clubs would be cool to get the kids involved and things like that. All these ideas, but all of that stuff has to come out off of money. And I thought, well, what can make the most money? Well, I mean, boom, everybody needs to eat. So that's the whole like hierarchy of how I plan to do it. I thought it would be amazing to be so rich one day that I just started adopting all the oldest kids in every orphanage. You're 15, 16, 17, 18, and I want to give you a nice little step off into life. I'm not going to be your dad. Hey, how's it going? I'm going to be, maybe we'll be friends. I'll give you an opportunity maybe to work on the farm if you want to stay here, whatever. But here's a nice little, leg up in life, because most of those kids at that age, I don't know, I wasn't a foster child, but I can't imagine that feeling when you get to that age and they're just going to let you off on your own. There you go.
They've been fed shit. Most of those kids have been fed shit.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't like me. Maybe they wouldn't care what I'm telling them and my whatever attitude and stuff. But it could be a good way to be charitable, like with wealth. Because I think there's nothing better to do with your wealth, if I was rich, than to do things like change people's lives in a heartbeat. Like go to a restaurant, you hear the waitress is talking about her $13,000 college debt or something, and you slip out the back with after leaving a $13,000 check on the table. Crazy shit like that would just be like adrenaline rush, man. It'd be like I'd be like an adrenaline junkie doing shit like that.
Well, we see it every day with Doc, whether it's $5, $10, $20, what we've seen him do just in the small amount of time that some of us have known him.
And it keeps coming back to
one
him.
of the most recent things she did was put a lady up for in a hotel or motel, and she called them the next day in tears. She was hired. They were giving her rent and paying her. So it's not a handout. It's definitely a hand up. You know, when you can give somebody a stable place for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. We didn't even say that term yet, but hand up rather than hand out. Because when we literally, and this might sound insensitive, but we literally put signs in the parks, don't feed the bears, right? Why is that sign there? Because you start feeding the bears, they start getting dependent on it. They don't have to work as hard. They get used to it, and then they get lazy, and then they can't actually take care of themselves anymore. So I want to bring up, I think it was Bunny that had said, what about people that just don't want to do anything? And I will tell you that is a very small percentage of people. And consequently, people who are homeless aren't always people who just need a house either. And a lot of people who are on the streets do not want that help. They're doing their thing because that's what they want to do. And there's also the mental health issue and other situations. But there's very, very few people out there that just, I just want to sit here or do nothing. Like that's either sometimes linked to depression or other mental illnesses, but also there's so many, disabilities and such. But they've actually found that more people have left the unemployment numbers went down because people just stopped looking because they're doing other things. People have their side hustles, they're, all sorts of other things, or they're going into black market situations and stuff. But I don't think there's that many people that just do nothing. I mean, that's my opinion. Maybe I'm out of line there, but I think that small percentage of people, and you're going to have that. It's a percentage. So when people talk about how much bad there is in the world or whatever, I try to bring to the light that the percentage of people is the same. So the pie gets bigger because there's more people, but you still have the same percent of charitable people. You have the same percent of bad people, the percent of, whatever, anything along the spectrum, that percent is the same, but the number of people gets bigger. So the total number of assholes is higher, even though it's the same percent of humanity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't get rid of all the assholes. There's always somebody out there. So there's, even within every charity, there's going to be somebody taking advantage, I think. So, but to what Jason said earlier, the giving is sometimes the act that you're just, I gave it. I've done my duty. I've done what I came to do. I wanted to give, and whether it gets corrupt or something messes up and someone steals it, that's sort of beyond your control at that point, right? What is it? It's not your fault if you give to a homeless person and they're actually not homeless and they've been scammed. They scammed you. It's not your fault. But you can still feel like you did a charitable act. You did something for someone that you thought was in need. And
that right there is why you don't do it unless you have it.
Yes, exactly. And we've seen people on these lives sometimes will donate when they don't have the money to pay their bills. I saw it happen on a live, where we used to be.
The cold page.
Yeah, I remember one time that happened at least, but
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wrong platform.
Because it caused a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anybody out there have any? I know there's a couple new people that stopped through here. What's up, B Sandoval? How you doing? Any other last minute charity conversation? I'm gonna still have a little sesh here if anybody wants to have a continued smoke. But
I'm gonna have to wrap my sesh up with you guys. I got another show I got to get and go do.
Oh yeah, we got 2 hours in already, guys. I think that's probably good for us then. Ryan, I'm going to show you
awesome topic tonight. Awesome topic. I really appreciate everybody stopping in and talking about it and sharing their experiences. Miss Charlene, a trooper.
Thank you, Charlene.
Bravo, Miss Charlene. Trooper tonight. Had all the knowledge that everybody needed. Appreciate that very much.
Hey,
I'm glad I could help.
So
He says he has to go because he has a show, but in all reality,
We have a show.
I have a show too. I have two.
oh, I know,
I have two different pages.
I might
So-
I might stop over there in a minute. Go ahead. Shout
Real
out,
quick
last minute
again.
shout outs, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. The 42710 Waffle House. We have the dragon egg and a plasma rig up for dibs. $10 a spot. If you're not a member, come on over. We serve up some pretty awesome waffles, and
Nums.
num. Just opened back up after a little hiatus, and yeah, these are our first 2 waffles back. So if you're interested in waffles, hit me up. If you know people, hit the page up. That's what I mean. And other than that,
Hit that like button on your way out, guys. Hit that like button on your way out.
Ryan, you want to shout out Pub Time? Go check them out on YouTube, guys. I pulled it up earlier. Go check them out on Spotify.
No, I'm just glad to hang out with you guys.
All right. Well, I'm trying to that's sort of like the pattern, you know. I want to try to give people that last minute. And then go check out Steve-O on the Indoor Farmer Monday nights at 8:30.
That's right. Monday night, 8:30 Central.
Nice to meet you guys.
Ryan, check this outro out on your way or before you leave here. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Until next week. Peace.
thank you everybody for hanging out with us.